Welcome back. You're watching Viewpoint with me, Griha. Now, West Bengal continues to be a battleground ahead of the July 8th Panchayat polls in the state. The courts have already come down heavily at the state government as well as the State Election Commission for questioning the deployment of central forces in the state. That, though, doesn't seem to have dissuaded Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee, who's now gone on to openly slam the border security force. Speaking at a public rally, Mamata went on to claim that the BSF is threatening voters in the bordering areas of the state and has also shot at civilians 2 to 3 days back in the district of Cooch Behar. Now, this statement by Mamata has given ammunition to the BJP to attack her back, claiming that the Chief Minister is upset with the central forces as her workers are unable to carry out smuggling activities in the state. Meanwhile, the BSF has also issued a statement against Bengal Chief Minister's charges, saying, and I'm quoting from the statement, the allegations levelled by the Chief Minister are totally baseless and far from truth.
বর্ডারে গিয়ে আপনাদের তারা ভয় দেখাবে এবং বলবে তুলে নেব।
Let me take this across to my guests who are joining me this evening. Priyanka Tibrewal of the BJP, Meeta Chakraborty of the Congress Party, and Professor Monojit Mandal, who is a TMC sympathizer, who's with us on the broadcast. Let me begin with you, Professor Monojit Mandal, since it is the TMC government there in the state of West Bengal and the allegations have been made by your Chief Minister. You know, on what grounds has Mamata Banerjee gone on to claim that there were deaths at the behest and at the hands of the border security force?
It's not on the ground. I mean, there are reality. There are people who were killed by the BSF. As in 5 people in the last 6-7 months. One very young chap of 18-year-old, some Burman who was killed 6 months back brutally. He had 70 bullets fired on his, entire body. He just went to play in the grounds during the, near the border. That's it. He was absolutely unarmed. I mean, these things are very much there. If you just send your reporter, to that particular place, you'll understand how the BSF is, continuing with the atrocities. That doesn't mean that all the BSF Jawans are, working under the instruction of a particular minister who comes from that particular place by the name of Nitish Pramanik, who I think is one of the biggest criminals, gundas in Amit Shah's cabinet, with 12 cases of murder, dacoity, girl trafficking, extortion, theft and whatnot. He was recently summoned by a particular court of law and he was thrown out of my party 5 years back to be lapped up by Amit Shah. It's as simple as that. And this person is controlling some of the BSF Jawans in that particular area. So these are not merely on the basis of certain allegations. The facts are very much real and this has happened and is happening continuously. So
has Mamata Banerjee gone on to meet with the families of the victim that she claims have been killed by the BSF Jawans 2 to 3 days back?
Yes, madam. She met the victim's family. One of the victim's family was very much with her in the on the dais during that election campaign. Even Abhishek Banerjee 6 months back, when that particular boy was killed, 18 years old boy was killed, Abhishek Banerjee went to meet the family of the same family. So these things, these atrocities are happening. One rape happened in North 24 Parganas, very near to Calcutta. 60 kilometers away from Calcutta. There is another border. One particular woman was raped and murdered. That also happened. And the fact remains that unfortunately, 50 kilometers deep to the state areas, you can't do anything because now it's a law that till 50 kilometers away from the border security force will take control of the situation. So that's a serious problem. I think it's deliberately created and that's why I protested long time back. Are you trying to create a military state or a BSF state? in the country? We are
Priyanka
asking this
Tibrewal,
question to Mr. Why
the
you
kind
can't,
of,
when you can't,
response-
just one second, why,
Yes.
when you can't actually control Manipur with the same BSF, with the same CRPF, what are you doing in Manipur? Send them to Manipur and control the people out there.
Okay. Priyanka Tibrewal, I need your response on this. On the one hand, there are central forces and the deployment of troops in Manipur. The situation is not being able to control. And I'm taking a cue from the question that Professor Mandal has asked. On the other hand, you are, going about responding to the allegations that Mamata Banerjee has laid on the BSF. These instances have come to light in the past also. There was a killing of 2 people from around the border in December 2022 when BSF was also responsible. So Mamata Banerjee has time and again claimed that the BSF has been very, very trigger happy, especially in the border states. So this particular claim that she's making is not new.
Yes, Greha, very good evening. So these kind of insane allegations, not just claim, allegations by the Chief Minister here in Bengal. And the reason is very straightforward. Now that they are being investigated into the cow smuggling, which is happening on these areas. Now, again, they every time jump and say, why the BSF is not controlling? You are not allowing them to control. Many a time, the center has told you that they need to occupy area, they need to occupy land. And they had even said that the stretch will be increased to some extent in kilometers. But she did not agree to it. So you can very well understand that what is the personal interest of Trinamool in that. But now, since the Panchayat elections are here, a statement like this coming from a chief minister when she goes to Cooch Behar, thereafter we see violence over there. See, lawlessness, violence, and the crumbleness of the administration here is nothing new. But here once again we see, just now Mr. Mandal was saying that, they took the family to the stage while campaigning for Panchayat elections. Now, did Mamata Banerjee or Abhishek Banerjee even care to meet the family of those 10 people who were murdered during these nominations here in Bengal? No, they did not care. Why? Because some are from Congress, some are from CPM, some are from ISF, so they don't care. And moreover, people from TMC have been killed. Why? TMC kills TMC in order to, fight for tickets, which some people did not get. They murdered each other. So this chief minister here doesn't have time to meet the families of those who are dying in the name of elections. This is what has been questioned by the Honorable High Court here. That why should there be a bloodshed in a state in the name of elections? But they have no answer to all this.
Priyanka, you are equating what Mamata Banerjee has just said to smuggling allegations and cattle smuggling against the TMC government in the state of West Bengal. However, what about the loss of lives that have been reported? You just spoke about the fact and said that Mamata Banerjee has not visited those people. But you guys are talking about cattle smuggling.
No, of course we will talk. Of course we will talk about anyone who's trying to break the law. See, she is trying to instigate the people, provoke the people. Mamata Banerjee did the same in the last elections by saying that, whenever the central forces come, I am telling you women, please go and attack them. That is what happened. Goons were trying to snatch the weapons from the central forces and they had to shoot. You can't give away your loaded guns to criminals to perform criminality.
Okay.
And now also Mamata Banerjee repeated her statement. She provoked the people and said that central forces are coming. Please be prepared to attack them. Ghero them. These are the words of an educated chief minister.
Okay. Let one second, Monajit, I'll just come to you. Let Meeta Chakrabarti be brought into this debate. Meeta, Congress is not a mute spectator when it is about politics in West Bengal. This particular statement by Mamata Banerjee, how and where does the Congress really stand on that? Do you think the central forces are being made into soft political targets ahead of the Panchayat elections, or do you think there is more to it than meets the eye? What Mamata Banerjee is actually stating is actually true?
Okay, good evening to all your viewers and good evening to my fellow panelists. I think the charges that have been made by the Chief Minister of the state are very serious allegations, are very serious charges. And if there is any element of truth in it, it requires a proper investigation. It is a fact that we have seen that in recent past, there had been people who had been killed. I can give you a few names. Jalal Meha from Chitolkuchi, Gautam Barman. And they had died in very recent past, and there has been an alleged BSF firing, and they had been victims to this alleged BSF firing. Now, it's very difficult for us to comment on the authenticity of these allegations. and a proper investigation needs to take place because the BSF has its jurisdiction very clearly cut out. They are meant to protect our international borders. The law and order is obviously a state subject, and that is the jurisdiction of the West Bengal police forces. Now, if they are overstepping, if there are killings that are happening, then that needs a proper investigation. And if there has been intimidation of the voters along the border areas as alleged by the Chief Minister, these are very serious allegations. At the end of the day, what do we want? We want a violence-free election process. We want a violence-free West Bengal. We have seen on the very first day of nomination filing, one of our Congress karyakartas, one of our Congress workers, had been killed brutally in Murshidabad district. We do not want to see the repeat of that. That's a very simple requirement from the Congress's side, and I think from all political parties' side, especially those in the opposition. And that is what it does not give us any joy if we see a TMC worker getting killed by another TMC worker, for example, or if we see a BJP worker getting slaughtered. That should not happen in any civilized democracy, and definitely in India, when we claim to be the largest democracy of the world, it should not happen in our country, in any state. And that is what we are trying to strive for. When we call videography, or when we ask for videography of all processes, when we ask for central forces being deployed, we want peace in the state. We want a violence-free polling process. And that is what we are requesting to all authorities and all security forces. And if the Chief Minister is going ahead and making such a grave accusation, and yes, there had been deaths in recent past, we would want a proper investigation so things can be established, and if required, necessary actions can be initiated.
Meeta, help me understand this one thing. What is the Congress's stand on Mamata Banerjee, in fact, going down on ground, which has not been seen? We've not really seen her do that before as far as rural elections are concerned, not very often. And that too, she's to be speaking about areas like Cooch Behar and North Bengal, where the TMC has lost too many seats. And then she goes on to make stunning allegations against the BSF. How do you see these statements when juxtaposed with the claims that the BJP and the other opposition in the state is making, that Mamata Banerjee is intimidated with the opposition presence, and she might also be worried that the TMC is losing its bastion in West Bengal?
See, Mamata Banerjee is the supremo of TMC. She is well within her rights to go and campaign for her party in any part of Bengal that she wants to. The problem that we have is not her campaigning or her candidates, fighting the elections. We had a problem with our workers getting intimidated, getting killed on the ground, and our workers not being able to file nomination. That is the issue that we have been raising time and again, and we continue to do that. We want to stand for a peaceful Bengal and for a free and fair poll process being followed in the state of West Bengal. As far as whether Mamata Banerjee wants to regain her lost ground in North Bengal, whether she's campaigning hard there, then it's up to her. But being the Chief Minister, if she has made such a grave accusation, if she has information that the rest of us do not have, if she knows of specific instances of intimidation by the BSF of the residents living near the border area, then she should share those evidences with the investigating
So
agencies.
Congress is not vouching for any of these claims? So Congress is not vouching for any of these claims that Mamata Banerjee is making, especially about intimidation of voters. Is that right, Meeta?
We are not in a position to, we know that there have been people who have been killed. We are not an investigating agency. We are not in a position to substantiate any of the charges. But being the Chief Minister, being the most responsible person in the state, she should be the most responsible person. If she has evidences, if she has information, then my request to her will be, please share that information with the investigating agencies. There should be a proper probe, a proper investigation, and a proper conclusion being drawn.
All right, Manojit, let me bring you back here. So, the allegation that the Bharatiya Janata Party is making is that this is an attempt to stay away from the allegations of cattle smuggling, and that's why Mamata Banerjee is putting up this farce and blaming it all on the BSF. Your response?
This is amazing. This is amazing. How many cattle were found with these people who were killed in the border? How many cattle were seized? Show me the seizure list.
Who was killed?
What are you talking about? Please ask her to stop. Please ask her to stop.
No. You cannot judge.
Priyanka, I request you to let him make his point. Priyanka, let him.
Uncourteous, honorable, let it to stop, please.
Okay. All right, Priyanka, once he makes his point, you can come in.
When you are making such allegations that these people were trafficking or exporting or whatever, they were doing something illegal activities, show me the scissor list. How these people, 4 people were killed in Shitolkuchi on 10th April? What they were doing? She was saying that they were trying to
snatching
serve
the
people.
weapons, I told
Their videos are there. Absolutely. You are a habitual peddler of untruth on TV. I do not even want to dignify your comment. You are a habitual peddler of lie on TV. I do not want to dignify your comment. It's a shame that I give a person who is a habitual liar on TV.
He is lying on a national television.
You are a habitual liar on TV. You say that
prove
Bangladesh was attacked by a Muslim person. You said, and you will apologize. You said that Bangladesh was attacked by a Muslim person.
Okay.
When it was attacked by a
Okay,
Muslim
allow me
person.
to come in here.
It's a shame that
All right.
I did it with you.
All right, we heard you both.
Please ask this person to stop.
Priyanka and
I
Monojit.
do not wish to
Monojit.
debate with this person.
All right,
because
Monojit.
he is a
Monojit, I'd request you to hold your horses there. Please hold your point. Monojit, I'd request you to please hold your point. Let me bring Priyanka Tribhuwal now back on. 1 second, Monojit. Yeah, I actually got that.
Muddling my voice.
I understand that, Monojit. That's why I have come in here. That's why I've come in here. Let me moderate the debate.
Thank you.
Priyanka,
Thank you.
there are serious
It's a very
allegations
serious
and there are serious allegations against the BJP also. Now, one thing that is happening in this entire behest of talking about cattle smuggling is the obvious question of people's lives being lost. That has been the point that we are missing over here. 1 second, Monojit. Let me moderate the debate. 1 second, Monojit. You have already made that point. Monojit, you've already made the point. Let her respond. Priyanka.
See, TMC is a liar of the highest category. What are the names of the people who have been killed by the BSF? How many FIRs have been registered? The Chief Minister has taken no action when law and order is her subject. What is the evidence? How many people have been killed? These are only stories. And these stories are coming during the time of Panchayat, where TMC has no roots. In Cooch Behar, they have nothing. So these story and the story plays being written by the Chief Minister herself. As we know, she has good qualities of writing books. Now she's writing stories.
All right.
And Congress,
Priyanka?
CPM are singing the lullaby in the same tune. After the meeting of 23rd, we have seen now they are asking no questions about their workers killed. How many?
Yes,
what is the
that
Congress
is the
doing
problem.
about the workers
You
who are
are
killed?
rattled.
And what is TMC doing?
Your Prime
Why
Minister is rattled.
all of a
23rd
sudden
meeting is
during
the problem. Why
Panchayat
these
elections,
political parties
we
are
are seeing
coming
that
together?
people are being
That
killed.
is the point.
What is your
now
Chief
you
Minister
use your
doing?
BSF.
Law and order
now
is your
you use
subject.
your CA.
How
CRPF.
many FIRs?
Priyanka, we're going about in circles.
That is the problem.
Priyanka, we're
23rd
going about
meeting
in
is the
circles.
problem.
1 second. Monojit,
Yes.
Monojit, let's respond to this point by point. The allegation that the BJP is making is that the reason why Mamata Banerjee is in Cooch Behar is because she fears that she's going to lose that territory. Your response to that question. And only Monojit speaks, please.
Yeah. This narrative was being spread since 2019 after the parliamentary election, and you saw the results of 2021. TMC has not just stuck to the guns, but increased the vote share by 5 to 6% and also increased the seats with the blessings of the people of Bengal. And you will see in 2024, not just in Bengal, but elsewhere. In TMC, by the way, TMC also won the maximum number of seats in the opposition in Meghalaya. That is number. We are at number 2, right?
Okay.
So you will see in 2024 what is going to happen. That's why the rattle, she said.
Okay, final point. I don't have much time on the debate. Final point. I got your point, Monojit. Thank you so much for that. Thank you, Monojit. All right. Thank you so much for that. Priyanka Tribhuwal. Priyanka Tribhuwal, last point to you. The allegation that is just, in fact, has happened. Even as the Prime Minister is attacking the opposition unity, you were saying that Congress and CPI is singing a lullaby in West Bengal. Is that affecting and impacting the BJP? Priyanka.
Nowhere, because you see Congress and CPM have lost ground. They have nothing on ground. Otherwise, you see Mamata Banerjee would have targeted him. But she's not targeting. She's going and joining hands with them.
Okay.
Because she knows that they are nowhere here. Their fight is only with BJP. Now, what I am telling you is I am suggesting, my friend.
All right. Thank you so much for that. That's all the time that I had. Priyanka, Meeta Chakrabarti and Professor Mandal, thank you so much for being a part of this discussion. Let's see what really happens by the 8th of July when the Panchayat polls happens in West Bengal. With that, it's a wrap on Viewpoint from my side.